Hello, future Magic Years teachers. I wanted to make a quick video since a lot of you are applying now and having questions about what to think about during your interview. I'm going to go ahead and send out three different links that will help prepare you, I think, for your interview. One of them is, it's on the Magic Years YouTube channel, but one is specifically for interviewers and what the interviewers are looking for. Another one is something that I had found on accident, but it was an actual interview being done and then going right into the demo. And so I think those are good things to be able to see of what's expected and kind of the conversation that's going to take place. And then the third one that I'll go ahead and send is my blog address. I've been making a Magic Years blog and just specific things to Magic Years. I know my online Facebook page for the ESL teachers, that is for me all Magic Years, but there is other ESL companies that people talk about. For me, it's solely Magic Years, but the blog will be just that. Okay, so a couple things that I wanted to share with you guys. First, I figured I'd just do a video and kind of talk you through it, is your lighting. So for other ESL companies, a lot of times it wasn't really brought up about lighting. I can tell that from my last company to this company, my lighting is completely different because wasn't one of their things that they reiterated. So I am in a room with no windows. I just have my overhead light. And many people swear by the 5 light bulb, floor lamp that has the 5 light bulbs. I haven't been able to get one yet. But currently, I do have various, they're not industrial lights, but one shining at me. So this light right here is just based off of the one light, but the external camera. And that makes a huge difference just alone with the external camera. Before with my other company, I was using the camera on the computer, and that was not good enough. So now this is just what that is. Now you can adjust the light on the camera, the external camera, but then this is the lighting that pops up once I'm in class. I've had several, one pointing in the background, all that stuff, but this gives ample light for the classroom. So lighting is going to be a big piece of your interview. They're going to look for that because it's huge within the classroom. Okay, secondly, your shirt that you wear, make sure it's a solid color shirt. Doesn't have to be purple. Magic Years, once you get hired, there's a shop that you could actually shop and get various colors. But for the interview, make sure it's not a V-neck, just regular shirt, solid. So that's for the shirt portion. Props, make sure that you have, they do a minimum of two props. I always give the recommendation that you don't want to overdo the props. For me personally, I tried to have a prop for every slide that I did during my demo, and I was fumbling and things like that. So take some props that are just going to be, ones that are, you look at the last slide, that's usually a review slide, and it will tell you basically what the whole lesson is going to be focusing on, and hone in on that. As far as props go, I'm just going to show a couple that I've just actually, after 2+ years of being on ESL, for companies, I've finally come up with something that's working for me better than before. If you are doing a letter lesson, which lower levels are typically letter lessons, I started getting the letters that I had and putting them on popsicle sticks. And the reason for that was it's harder to grab your big G and your little g. So what I've done, I had these already, so you can even put flashcards on here. I have big G, and then they'll always do the other one. So then I flip it over, and it's just a quick, and you can bring it in and make it, however. So this is a prop that is a possibility that you could use. Popsicle sticks are genius. The other thing is, for keywords, I use same thing. Popsicle stick, and I just put a sticky note, put on. That was something in one of my lessons just kept reiterating, put on. And you bring the kids up and have them say those key vocabulary words, That was one. And then for that, maybe there was 2 different vocabulary, or maybe this was another class. And so when I'm back to back, I'm trying to make myself more efficient. So this, and then I can quickly use it for the next class, or the same, depending on whatever you're wanting to reiterate. So I would swear by popsicle sticks. I think that has been probably a big lifesaver for me. Something else, as far as a prop that I learned in a workshop, was just having generic props that you can use for every class throughout the lesson. So for example, one of them was a question mark on a popsicle stick. You're always going to be asking questions throughout the lesson. So, you know, you ask a question, use your TPR, but then this is a prop. So that is something else too. Throughout your lesson, you know, TPR, obviously, TPR is the movement. So look, listen, those are your basic ones, but, you know, good job. You could be, you know, like picking apples. We're picking apples. Anything that has movement, they're going to look for. So that TPR is key. You're going to want to make sure you know the platform. So if you go into my blog, I do have a video on the various tools of the classroom and how to use them. They're going to want to make sure you are able to, you know, move your screen around and just be able to reiterate that you've done your practice. The other thing is you're going to want to make sure you have the content down, not memorized. Every slide on the Magic Ears lesson has teacher directions on the right-hand side, but you don't want to be reading them during your lesson. You want to have the gist for what you're supposed to do on each slide. So know your content, you know, obviously prep for that, and know how to use the classroom. And if we have a chance, I'll get into that, just kind of go over some ideas. I did make a video on time management on my blog, and I gave some examples of what to do in a lesson that just makes it really interactive. Okay, something else is when you are going from slide to slide and you're in your lesson, you don't want a lot of quiet time, or any quiet time really. You want to make sure those transitions are nice and clear and crisp. So you might say, what's next? You know, or what will we see? You know, something like that. So talk it through, or great job, guys, as you're clicking to the next slide. You don't want to be stagnant. So keep that in mind. Your background needs to be clean and tidy, somewhat educational. A lot of you, if you've already worked for an ESL company, you probably already have that. Mine even is not exactly the way I want it. I've butcher papered it, then I've taken it down. You know, I've got some burlap up there. I'm not really using that the way I really want to, but anyway, nice and clear, nice and crisp. Okay, going back to props real quick, if you do use ManyCam, you certainly can, the object you use within ManyCam will work as props. So that is something else. Passion, show your passion, smile. You know, you don't have to be over the top if you're not an over the top person. I am not an over the top person, but just know that when you are in the class with kids, it's a whole lot easier than when you are teaching an adult and acting like they're a child. But just kind of put on that game face for that time being so they can kind of see. But smile, TPR, know your stuff, just, you know, kind of be excited. But it doesn't have to be over the top. And I always tell people, do you. Be you, make it authentic, make it, you know, transparent of who you are. Okay, the other thing is internet. Make sure that your internet is strong. They do prefer that you have a Ethernet just physically plugged in from the wall to the computer. That way there's no issue in there. On one of the videos for the interviewers, they will tell you that's one of the first times they see you, and they don't want, you know, you don't want to have to stop because the internet's bad or whatever. So just make sure the internet is strong. And I think that covers a lot of what I want to say for your interview. Since we have a quick minute, I'll go ahead and share my screen, which is already showing here. And I wanted to go ahead and go into a classroom real quick just to show you what I mean by, you know, moving the camera around. Really quick, yours might look a little bit different, but you're going to notice that this turquoise button right here, that is how when you can preview it, okay? From 10 minutes before your class, it's not going to be turquoise, it should turn green, meaning, and it should have a countdown timer. For your interview, you'll probably see a person that's 25, 30, however years old. That's the interviewer, so don't worry about that. But once you log in, I'm just going to show you what I mean by moving the camera around. They are going to want to make sure, like I said, that you know how to use the tools. Check out the other video, but I'm going to run through it real quick. There is this button if you want the pen to not disappear like this. Whoops. You want to enable the pen, and then it will stay there. Okay, when you want to erase things, clear it. But what I wanted to talk about as far as you being interactive, move your camera around throughout the lesson. I know it's something to kind of take on that's new, but if your trainer's down here, kind of do one of these, like, you know, hello, or act like you're grabbing them, or maybe put them up here and go, you know, something like that. But kind of be interactive. That's what they're going to want to see. Now, up here, this is, bouncing back. If you get too close, it'll put you back. This one right here with the 3 people, that's your 1v1 button, and that's going to interact everybody. So it'll make you big, and then you can pull up your student and make them big as well, and you can see them much closer. So when you're pronunciating things, you want to show, you know, your mouth closely. Won't let me do it in preview mode, but it will get big, and I strongly, strongly suggest that. I don't know if my Manicam will work in here or not. Well, you can see my screen, so let me show you. One thing that I do, and this is not necessarily an interview, but I turn my face really big, and I'll say, you know, banana, something like that, so that they can kind of see the pronunciation, and they think it's hysterical. But the biggest thing, don't worry about Manicam, but the biggest thing is listen for those errors too. The trainer is going to purposely make sure that they make a mistake, and they want to make sure that you're correct. Okay, watch your time. Watch your time. This one has 42 slides, so I am not going to want to take 1 minute per slide, obviously. Watch your slide number and watch your time. So definitely know your stuff. Make sure that you, you know, that you have gone over the content and things like that. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here. So hopefully that helps. Please reach out. I will get those 3 links for the interview, their YouTube videos. And those are the things: TBR, props, passion, smile, don't be stagnant, solid shirt, clean background, lighting, know your tools, know your content. You'll do great. Thinking of you, make sure that you reach out if you have any other questions. Talk to you guys later. Good luck.